We now know how to use Python's built-in function print to display messages to users. The next step is to use Python's built-in function input to get information from the user. We'll call input, passing a single string as an argument to it. In this case, we're going to ask the user, "What is your name?" When the function executes, that string will be printed to the screen, and we will wait for the user to type some input at the prompt. So notice that the cursor is flashing, waiting for us to type something. I will now type my name as the user of this program. I say my name is Jen, and when I hit enter, the function completes its execution. The string that I typed, JEN, is returned as a string from the function. We see that there are single quotes around it, indicating that the value is type string. We'll call the function input a second time. This time, though, we will store the result returned by input in a variable named name. When we execute the function, the user types their name, and that value is returned as a string. So the memory address of the value is stored in the name variable. And when we examine the contents of name, we see that it refers to the string Jen. We will now use input to prompt the user to enter their location. The string, "What is your location?" gets printed, and I enter my location, Toronto. That value is returned by the function, so location refers to the value Toronto, and name refers to Jen. Let's now use the two variables, name and location, to display a message back to the user. We're going to call print, passing in 3 arguments. The first is the name, the second will be a string saying lives in, and the third is the location. So the way we interpret this call to print is that first we'll use the value that name refers to, joining that with a space between it and the string lives in. And next, we'll use a space and the value that location refers to print Jen lives in Toronto. Earlier, I mentioned that name and location both refer to strings. In fact, the type of all values returned by input will be type string. Let's call input again, asking how many cups of coffee I've had today. When I enter a value as the user, I enter 2. And this value is returned by the input function as a string. So we can see that num coffee refers to the string 2, not to the int 2.